Good morning, and welcome to week 11 here in the 100-day project. And today is day 71, and it is the 3rd of May. And the rest of the video will be to day 77. If you just have stumbled on my video and are thinking, what is the 100-day project? Shortly told, it's a worldwide thing where people can do whatever they fancy to do at 100 days in a row. And I think it is the 8th time I'm doing it, and I really enjoy doing these projects here. But if you want to know a little more about it, look here under the video, under the little word more. There are a link to a playlist, and find day 1, and there I will explain a lot more about it. But also you can go on Instagram and search for the hashtag do the 100-day project, and you can find more information there. But this year I have decided to go round, so I have some watercolor circles, and I am doing mixed media. So I will be using both fabric, papers, and stitching, and some bits and bobs. That is what I have decided to do this year. What else do I want to say? Yeah, I just quickly want to introduce myself. My name is Lisbeth, and I'm Danish, so pardon my bumpy English. And also, just a little quick tip, I have a Ko-fi account if anybody wants to support my little Danish channel or my work with the different challenges I have going on. And I don't mean this 100-day project, because that is not my challenge, but I have some embroidery challenges going on, and you can always find links and information under the video here. Also a link to my Ko-fi account, and links for the 2 last year's projects, 100 days projects, are also links under here. And everything else I'm talking about, I will be putting links the same place. But enough of me, blah, blah, blah. Let us start doing the first day in this week, and that is week 71. Yeah, and pardon me, all my circles are going to live here in this very crowded box, and I haven't been doing anything to it yet, but I need to make it a little higher. And also I want to say, I have several people asking me, what are you going to do with these? And then I have said to them, absolutely nothing. They are going to live here in my box, and I make this for my own amusement or enjoyment. And yeah, perhaps they could be exhibited somewhere, I don't know, but I have no plans on doing that. So it is for my mental health I'm doing this, if you can say so. That is enough. Let us start. As you saw in the little intro here at the beginning of the video, I had a picture of the materials I'm going to use this week here, and that I show you that because I change color scheme every week, not to get bored. And this week I have gone for the purple, and purple is absolutely not a color I gravitate to. So this is a challenge in the challenge, because I really don't like purple, but I know many other people like purple, and sometimes it is, yeah, of course you don't have to do something so you get sick, but it is also, after saying that, sometimes good to give yourself a little extra something to challenge yourself, and I do that once in a while. Use, for instance, colors I'm not very keen on, and this week I will go for that. So these are the fabrics here I have to choose between. As you saw them all in the beginning of the video. And here is my watercolor circle, and I don't think I will do anything else but fabric this week here. Fabric and stitching, and some bits and bobs of what I can come up with or figure out to do. So let us see what I can come up with here this week here. So I have this piece here, and let me be in frame so you can see what I'm doing here. I have my tape there, and now it is just start playing. This piece I want in here because that is a little, there's more marks on it, so this could work. Can we go the other way perhaps? And instead of that, that is too short, so yeah, something like this here I think will work. So I will find my glue stick. There, you can see it better there. And in this case, I don't mind using glue stick and fabric together because it just needs to be put down. And glue stick, yeah, you could of course use matte medium, but it has a much longer drying time, and you have the risk of the medium seeping up through your fabric, and that is perhaps not so nice. Glue stick dries quite quick, and it's no problem stitching through when it's dry. So I will go for that here because, as I said, this is just for my own amusement and not for a museum. So I will just glue these down here. Yeah, do I want to? Do I want to go all in there? Perhaps that could be a little funny to do it that way. I don't usually, normally I would have gone there and there, but why not let it go all the way in there? I think I will do that. And I can see I'm really nearly running out here of glue stick, so let us put this down here. There. And here, I will just go in here. There. And I really like these frayed edges. There. So that's just an old book page I'm using for gluing. And then I would give it a good rub, and then I would let it dry for a couple of minutes, because then the glue is so dry so I can stick through it without my needle hanging in. And I will also cut all the too much fabric off here when it's more dry than that. And meanwhile I will go and get another glue stick. I think it is so dry so I can cut the overhanger here off. So I just carefully cut the fabric off here. Take care so I don't cut in the watercolor paper. There, and then you got a much better look at how it we can, to see what we can, I can do with it. And I have these small, I don't know if it's ceiling rings or what they are, but I have a couple of them, and I think I want to incorporate them in here somewhere. And couldn't that be nice sitting there? So I will sew that one on, and then I have to decide what more to do. I don't think I will do any stitching in there because this pattern is really heavy one, or not heavy, but there are a lot of going on there in this pattern. So stitching, I will do something there, but I will have to figure out what that should be. So I can see here, I have the right color of thread in my needle for sewing this little piece on. And whoops, that was too long. So here I will just say I want it there. I think, yeah, that's the most obvious way. You could also put it there. That's perhaps the end more fun than, and then I can do some stitching down there. I think I will go for this instead. That is the fun about this. You have an idea until the next one hits you. So I've just pre-poked here, and I come up and let the long end hang there and go down again, and I'll do it at 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Nothing fancy about that. It's a little tough to stitch into, but it is so few stitches, so it's okay. So there and there, and I think these 4 stitches are enough. So I will just take my tape here and cut a little snoot and secure these 2 here on the back and cut them off. Whoops. Yeah. So now this is sitting there and not running anywhere. So here I think I will just do straight stitches, big straight stitches over there. Or do I want cross stitches? I could also do cross stitches. Perhaps that is better. And then I will figure out what kind of color I want to use. I have these 2. I don't think that one. It is silk, but it is a very rough silk. And this is mercerized cotton. No, it isn't. That is also silk too. And this is mercerized cotton. And I have one more option, and this is the thread here that changes color. And perhaps I can take a double of that one. That could perhaps be nice. So I will take double of this and thread my needle and then be back. So I started with the first little cross, and you can see I have secured my thread here on the back. So again I will pre-poke my holes. And if you don't have such a thing here, you can always make such a thing. It's a cork and a darning needle, or that you can put whatever kind of needle you want up in this and give it a dab of glue, and then you have a very nice thing to pre-poke with. This one my hubby has made for me, and it is a wooden handle and some parts from a compass. So now it's just to hit the small pre-poked holes there, and it isn't so easy here in this dark fabric. So you can of course poke all the way down to here at once and do all the stitches, but when you're stitching into fabric with such a thin needle, it is like if it sits there for a little, like the fabric is closing up. You will clearly see the holes on the back side, but here on the front side it can be a little more difficult. That is why I do one stitch at a time here right now. The cross stitches, that isn't difficult, and this is how they look. So I will sew all the way down here, and then I can show them to you. So I just also made 3 big cross stitches down there. So this is how day 71 ended up, and let us hurry here and write it. 71, and it is the 3rd of May 2026. So that was that. I will say bye for now, and then I will see you again tomorrow. Hi. Good morning, and welcome here to day 72. And I have been up and already done this. Here I did go for 3 of the small rings and 2 rings here with just back stitches. And I think it looks quite nice. The way I punch these holes so I get them really nice round is I take my tin plate. I have such a tin plate here, and then I take my tool and then I just poke here in the circumference, and then you get very nice round circles. But let us write here day 72, and it is the 4th of May 2026. So this is how it ended up here. So take care and see you again tomorrow. Hi, and welcome to day 73 here, and it is the 5th of May, and French knots and pistol stitches here in this piece. And I didn't sew that little metal ring on. It is secured by the pistol stitches, and it is quite a funny one. I think my pieces looks darker here in the video than it is in real life, but there's nothing I can do about that. But again, day 73 and the 5th of May. There. So here it is. Another day. So farvel, and vi ses i morgen. Hi, and welcome to day 74 here of 6th of May. And I already have placed this piece here. I don't have pieces that are so big, so I will use the biggest one first. And let me see here what else I can do. And now I'm going to sneeze just a sec. And the camera is sitting there still. Yeah, that's too much the same. Let me see, I have this strip here. Yeah, that is much better. And what else do I have here in my pile of purple? Nah, that is too blue and red instead. Yeah, I have this one. That is a little different. And I think I will glue these two for first and cut it clean, and then I can decide how wide or narrow or where to place it on my circle. So again, I will just take my paper there and glue these two down and let them dry, and then I will be back. You don't need to see all this gluing. I have showed you at the day 71 here. So now we're ready for putting this on, and before I do anything, I think I want to take this off here. So I will, and fingers in your ears, there, and I can see it's a little crooked, and I don't want the green end, I want this end here. So I will again so now it's straight there. Yeah, perhaps it is the obvious thing to put it this way, but who will go for obvious every time? I won't. So I think I will let it go there. In this case, I have to put the glue stick here on my fabric. And that is also possible. There, there, and turn it over and rub it good. And sorry for shaking you. Shake, 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 shake. Yeah, and that has to dry a little, and then I will be back, cut this off, and then I can decide what to stitch and what else to put on here. I know I made it this way, but I like it much better this way. So this is the way I will turn it. And this little round thing there, I would place there. And I very often like to place my focal point, if you can call this a focal point, in the junctions where several things are overlapping each other or crossing each other. So I will do exactly the same. I have taken my lightest silk thread here, and again I will just stitch it down with 4 stitches, and that will be enough. There and there. And pre-book. That's going through several layers of fabric, so it can be a little tough. And for the last stitch, there, and down there. And again, I will just give it a little dab of tape. Oh, sorry for my arm. Yeah, I don't know why I keep saying I'm sorry, because I ain't sorry, but I have I have to work, so I have to have some room for my arms also. So now this is placed down, and here I think I will stitch in that area there, and yeah, I think I would like it, trace a circle, and I will trace it with my chalk pen because then it will disappear. If I take my pencil, it won't disappear, but because I won't stitch in the circumference that I'm drawing, but I will do seed stitches inside that circle. So let me see here, here it is, and then I will find my template here. And of course, if you don't have such a template, you can use all sorts of things from your kitchen. And I will have to remove all my things here. So, and where do I want to place it? I think here is fine. So I will just say I have to keep inside that. And again, I will find my, I think I will use this thread here. And now I can't find, there my, there are my needle and my blue gluing paper. And I will thread this and start sewing seed stitches inside that circle there. So I just started. So I will poke here, come up. No knots here, please. And go down here. And seed stitches is, yeah, the stitch itself isn't very difficult. The difficult thing about seed stitches is to place them totally random. And I know many has trouble with that or don't like it very much, but I really like to sew them. But I have also been sewing a lot of them, and yeah, as it is with many things in life, practice is the only way to get better. And so it is with seed stitches. And perhaps it is about also, stop thinking or hang your brain up for a while and don't use it, but just do and see what happens. If I was stitching in fabric, I of course could do it in one work way or in one movement, but you can't do that when you're stitching onto paper. Then you have to go up and then go down, and not up and down in the same movement. And that is perhaps the most difficult thing, not difficult, but the most different thing there is between stitching into fabric and stitching into paper. But I think you can see what I'm doing. So, and again, you can of course pre-poke, but I don't like to pre-poke it when I'm doing this stitch, because it is hard to see where to come up and down if you just have made a lot of holes in your piece. Nobody could remember where I had intentions of going up and where to place the stitches. So that is why I'm doing it this way here. Yeah. But it looks really nice in my humble opinion. There. I will stitch this up and then I can show it to you. That was a lot of stitching, and by a miracle every time it always ends up fitting. So you're stitching, yeah, there isn't a space where you think you would have to put another thing in, and there always is room for the last stitch somehow. It must be a miracle. And I can take it up here higher so you can see it. This is all I will do for this piece here. So let us write the date. The 6th of May. I really like this one here. I know this is square shapes and round, but I think it looks very nice. So far it's my favorite. But bye for now and see you tomorrow. Hi, I have been up early because I have a busy day today and already made my piece. So a small strip of this, the last strip I have of this fabric here, and a little bit of dark here and a big piece of that. And there I just make nearly a circle with blanket stitches in one color, and then I took the other color and make blanket stitches the other way. So I just put I put the legs inside each other, and I really like this way here because you have a nice edge there and a nice edge there. So this is the way this ended up. So bye bye for now and see you tomorrow. No, sorry, we have to write here the date. You stupid woman. And I know I ain't stupid. It's just a saying. There it was. Okay, bye now. Good morning, and welcome today. Let us write it here at once. Day 76, and it is the 8th of May 2026. And let us look at it. Fly stitches, 3 rings here, and fly stitches. Yeah, I sewed them this way, but it ended up like this way, and I don't know if it is like, yeah, if you put 2 straight stitches there, it would look like small people, but that wasn't my intention. But perhaps you think of that when you see it. So it's a really nice thread here, this variegated one. So not much, but sometimes little is enough, and you can easily overdo these very small pieces here. So tomorrow, the last day in this week, and I will do the whole sewing project tomorrow with you. So bye for now and see you tomorrow. Hi, and welcome to the last day here in this week 11, day 77. And sorry for all this plaster you have been looking at all week, but I have cut a nice big chunk here in my finger, and it is not very nice, so I have to have this on and hopefully it will be gone soon. So yeah, is that what happens when you're a little too quick sometimes? But let us see here. I have this piece of fabric and I haven't been using it in any of the other days here, so I really want to do that, or use that here. And yeah, I have this piece or this piece, or yeah, I have this piece here, and I don't have so much more to choose between. Yeah, I have more of this of the same, but not more different ones. Yeah, I think that is too blue. I have this piece here, and I think that is better. Yeah, I would go for these 3 fabrics and glue them down so that the width of the stripes, if you can say so, is different. So I will do that and cut the edges clean, and then I will be back and show you what I will do of stitching. And I don't know that yet because I can't predict that before I have glued it down and cut the edges clean, and then I look at what the piece looks like. I can have an idea in my head, but it doesn't always match up when I have glued it down. But I will do that, and then we can look at it together. So the fabric is glued down, and you can see what I was talking about. This is narrow, this is a little wider, and this is the widest. And I think I will just sew these 2 on here at the darkest fabric, and then my intention is to do feather stitches, and start and end here and start here and end here. That is my plan right now, but it can change quickly again. So again, I will just sew these two down as I have shown you previously, and you don't need to see me do that. So I will be back when these are sewed down. So they are sewed down, the small rings there. So now for the feather stitches, and since I'm not doing them in a straight line, I think I want to draw a line so I have something to poke after. So let me see if I can draw a line here. There. And I know that when I pre-poke the holes, I want have like a line in the middle, and for every second hole there has to be one beside it at the right side here and the left side, and there and there and there and there. So that is why I just there and there and there and there, there and there, and you can see now I use the line for the middle stitch. And I can start now, so you can see it now. So I just come up at the left side, and I take in a pretty long thread, go down in the right and come up in the middle there, and go put my needle in the loop there. Then I go to the right side. No, I don't. I can see I have missed one. So I'll just see if I can come up here. Yeah, let me see here. No, I think I will just let that be there. I would go for it as it was. No, I won't. I will go in here, the left, go through and come up in the middle and go in the loop. That's a really lazy tailor's thread here. Go down in the right side and come up in the middle. Yeah. To the left. Come up in the middle. In the loop. Yeah. To the right. And up in the middle. In the loop. To the left. I really like to sew this stitch, and again, if you have been stitching directly into only fabric, you could have done it in one movement. You could come down and go up here, but you can't do that here in this heavy fabric here, or heavy paper. Yeah. Down here. Now I don't have any more holes, so yeah, you can see here. I will pre-poke the rest, and I can show it to you when I'm done here and look at if I want another one there. But there. And there, and there, and there, and there, and there, and there. It's like a little melody. I will be back. This is how my little piece here from day 77 ended up. And it is a little different than the other ones because very often I go vertical or horizontal. I seldom curve things, but I think that it was the shape here of that fabric with the leaves on here that inspired me to go it like this. And when I look back at all the other weeks that already has passed, in every, yeah, you can call it batch, every week there's one of them that always are a little different than the others. That is, yeah, it's a little special to think of why perhaps it is so, but yeah, maybe it's just the inspiration of what the glued down fabrics asks you to do. Often it is that way I see what I will do by looking at what's on my table, or what's on my plate, or what's on my substrate here, and what can I do with this. So I will round this video up here and take some pictures of all of them here at the end of the video. Yeah, and of course write the date here on the back. I forgot to do that, but I remembered, so here it is. So this week was my purple week, and I won't do any more purple in this challenge here. I'm glad I did it because it is good to be shaken up sometimes, but I will never reach that point where I said, yes, I love yellow, I love purple. That's not my color, but that is why it is so beautiful. We all have different tastes, and what my hobby is always saying that everybody's taste is different. That is why all girls get married and all sausages get eaten, and that is a nice saying, I think. But yeah, I did it, and they will go in my box now, and I don't think I can close that box anymore, but I will again have to figure something out there. But if you have been inspired, and if you have liked what you have been seeing or enjoyed my video, please give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing my little Danish channel. That would be very helpful of you and appreciated very much. Also, you can hit a notification bell if you want to know when videos are coming up. And give me a comment. I like to be in touch with you. So enough about that, but else I will say, please play and create as much as you're able to, and do it as much as you can. That's good for your spirit and your mental health, I'm sure of. And not but least of all, please take care of yourself. And also, as I have said, yeah, for the last year, I think, please be kind to everybody. It's a crazy world we are living in here right now. So all people can do is be nice to one another. So that was all for now, and I will see you again in a week's time and go for a total different color. One of my favorite colors I think I will go for. But you never know what I dig out of all my boxes. So take care and bye-bye for now.